Well, I'll start with we formed an LLC, which is a limited liability company, corporation. Technical, yeah. Anyways, that was the hardest part, just figuring out, we're like, do we need to get a lawyer? How does this look? How do you write up the documents? How do you make it official? What do the taxes look like? How do you write off stuff? So luckily, networking, like one of my friends' dad was a lawyer, and he pointed me to LegalZoom, which handles a lot of that stuff for just really small fee compared to paying the lawyer $500 an hour to set it up for you. Again, like my uncle helped us with, figuring out for sure how we want to set it up and answering some of those questions. Because online, LegalZoom kind of walks you through how to start a company, which is really nice. So that was, to me, that was the daunting part, just legally, how does it look? And, setting up the bank account and making everything official. I'm sure you have a side to that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just took a while to kind of understand, like, okay, like, how do we make, because we had worked for some clients before we were officially a company, and I think at that point we were kind of going through, like, okay, is this something we really want to do, like, full time? And after we decided that, we'd already done a commercial, and it turned out really well, and it was a really fun project. It was a great starter project for us, because we had a lot of freedom, and it allowed us to really explore our creative abilities and find out our potential. And that was perfect for us, because it just allowed us to, like, push forward and be like, wow, we really can, like, take on the world. And so after that, we were just like, okay, how do we make it official? And so we went through that whole process, and once we went through with it, and we signed our papers. I mean, I remember when we signed the papers that made it official, and it was like a cool moment for us.
We took pictures.
Yeah, we took pictures, and I have posted a picture of me on Facebook, holding up the official document. Like, this is it. We're conscious minds now. So that was a cool moment for us, and I mean, we're always changing. We're always growing, and we're always asking ourselves, like, where do we want to go? Is what we're doing now ultimately going to help us? And I think that's been a big help for us, because we've really taken on a lot of things in the year and a half that we've been a company, and we've gone in some directions and just been like, what? No, this is not rewarding for us, or we don't, this is taking us down the wrong path, and we don't want to get too far off our end goal. So it just helps us stay focused, to just always question ourselves. I mean, I think just prayer and stuff has helped as well, and good communication. So.
Yeah. And I'll say the hardest thing, and it's now just paying off a year into it, but was starting to build, clients and starting to build the contacts. And, like, through college we had done a couple projects, and we did that commercial, so we already had a few people that knew our name, but, I mean, no one really knew who we were. And so honestly, I would get on the phone every day and just call ad agencies and, PR firms, and you're just cold calling, just like I cold called you. I think I cold called 100 nonprofits all in LA. And I, just said, hey, we started this company. This is what we're about. Would love to talk with you. Would love to meet with you. Would love to help you. And half the time I'd get either hung up on or voicemail. Well, and you figure out the wording of, people don't want to talk for a long time. You realize you have 3 sentences to tell them what you're doing, or so it's been a journey, just figuring out how to talk on the phone and how to get past people and how to, finagle your way into things. And then a lot of it, like Pete was saying, is really staying level-headed and not trying to take on too much. Because a lot of some companies, like, growing up in our generation, it's, social networking, how Facebook intertwines, how to, use Google and tag stuff. And a lot of these companies are, wanting you to do a video and then set up this website and then do our social networking strategy and all this. And, it sounds fun and there's all these enticing things, but then you're like, we're not good at that. That's not what we're passionate about. We're not, it's really hard because we're so young. It's easy for us to get taken off another direction and to start other things. So I think the biggest thing of starting a company was literally doing it, like signing the papers, which after the fact, like, it was pretty simple.
Yeah, it really
Like,
was.
I think a lot of people, like, you know, obviously investing in like a bakery and getting all the equipment, that's a lot more money up front, but starting a company is very simple in the sense of like starting it, paperwork, all that doesn't cost a lot of money if you're not having to like buy a bunch of equipment, but following through and just like doing it is like, you know, was I think our like biggest thing, just like, okay, we're gonna do this, make it official. But
Was it just you two, or do you have other employees?
it's just us two. We basically contract out.
Yeah.
That's everyone's like, don't hire employees.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to.
And that's the way a lot of production companies work. It's just, you know, realistically, you're not always going to have work for people 100% of the time if you have employees. So, you know, it's cheaper to contract people out. That way, when you're in between projects, you're not having to pay them. And we do, you know, there's so many different scales of projects, you know, like you know, for Giving Children Hope, this is probably like one of our smaller projects. We're not going to have like a huge crew or anything like that. But so if we, you know, had a lot of employees for our bigger projects, then, you know, when it comes down to projects like this, we'd have a lot of people just sitting around. And so it just makes sense, because for every project we're only paying just the amount of people that we need. Which works out. We want to expand and be able to have employees, because there are certain things that I think we just get tied up with because we don't have someone else to help us out. And I think we could be more efficient if we had some more people coming on. And I think we're gonna add up slowly, but we're really starting to we're trying to take on more, and because we do so much in production ourselves, because I think we're pretty capable as far as what our abilities and skills are. However, we want to really focus and do like a few things really well, and then hire a bunch of other people to do their little thing really well, rather than us kind of spreading ourselves out on this project. So we want to sort of, I don't want to call it outsource, but how would you put it? I mean, we really would just want to produce content, and then have other people doing a lot more of the production work for us, and we oversee it, and we'll still be there for quality control and stuff like that, and making sure that the creative vision is going the way we want it to be, because after all, like, if it's coming out of our company, you know, we have a reputation to uphold. So I think eventually we really want to be just producers and spreading it out to people into production. So right now we're producers and we're in production. So
I think it'd be my dream is to have a warehouse this big, and just to have a massive table that goes all the way across it, and everyone sits at the table together and works together. Like, you know, 50 people all at one long dinner table. Everyone has their computers, there's no offices, and it's just like this giant ball of creativity.
That sounds like Tom's Shoes. They do that.
Do they?
Do they?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd
In
love
their
that.
big
It'd be
warehouse.
so cool.
They just move their computer wherever has
Yeah.
these tables, and
I really like the Pixar type of model.
Oh
They they have like their environment is like built around creativity, and I mean I haven't been there or anything, but I've just heard about it, and I've seen pictures and, you know, video of it, and it's just like I think I saw one of their animators is like, his office is in like a little playhouse or something like that. It's really funny, but it's just like built for people to collaborate and be in discussion and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't
Does
know.
he have like dolls and stuff on his desk?
I didn't remember, but like I just I like that is like their focus, that everything down to like the work environment has to be about collaboration and communication and stuff like that. And I mean, eventually I want to build towards that. Maybe not as extreme as like a little playhouse, but you know, it's something that really just is stimulating. The environment is stimulating your creativity.